Well, I'm joined by Josh Taylor. Can I ask you first of all what that is behind you? Is that an exercise bike?
That is a little electric scooter.
Oh, it's an electric scooter.
It's a bit like a motocross bike.
It does.
I
Be careful with the plantar fascia injury, yeah?
take that sometimes to the gym, like when the traffic's going, like when it's too busy for my second session. It can take me 5 minutes to get along the road on that, rather than 25 to half an hour when the traffic's bad when I'm doing my second session. So just go along on the pavement. So, it takes time. It's a time saver.
Are you a tearaway on it or not?
No, I'm very well behaved.
Well, not that you're drinking in camp, but when are you allowed on those things when you've had a tequila and a beer?
Oh, I wouldn't advise it anyway. That's for sure.
And so that's for getting around the streets of Liverpool, yeah?
Yeah, just for getting to the gym. I mean, sometimes like my S&C venue is only like a mile and a half along the road, 2 miles. Um, like or sometimes if it's too like rush hour time and stuff, it can take me half an hour to get along there.
Right. Yeah.
5 minutes to get along there. So um, sometimes just walk or a cycle. Sometimes just cycle, rent bikes and cycle. But I got that. It's take it along to the gym and stuff as well. Can get there in 10 minutes, which is good.
I'm going off piste here a little bit, but isn't it extraordinary when you start cycling around cities, how quickly it is to get around?
Yeah, you can get there no problem, which
I
is
know.
great.
It's really weird. I do that in London a lot. I mean, like, I go from North London down to London Bridge when it would take 30 minutes on the tube, 45 minutes in an Uber, and it's
Yeah.
like 20 minutes on your bike, you know?
Yeah, I used to rent the Boris bikes and go around London and stuff, and I used to be able to get everywhere on that really quickly. So it was good if I got that to get to the gym and stuff back. Obviously, when I got my injury, I couldn't really do the clutch in and out with the car, so I couldn't really get to the gym because by driving. So I just brought my scooter down and I go back and forth to the gym on the scooter, which was good. It's got a seat on it and that as well, so I could sit down too. So it's pretty good. It's pretty cool bit of machinery.
Oh, you'll be getting a lawnmower for it next. Um, how are you anyway? Like you mentioned the injury there. I didn't know you couldn't put any pressure down on it at all at one point. Like you say, you could do the clutch. How is the injury now?
Yeah, it's good. It's getting there. Started back doing a little bit of running and stuff this week, trying it out on the curve machine and things like that. So we're getting there slowly but surely. I mean, I'm fitting ahead of schedule anyway. But in terms of getting back to like my normal kind of running and preparation, we're almost there. Not quite, but getting there slowly. So no, I'm doing good, Gareth. I'm nice and ahead of schedule in terms of fitness and training wise. So yeah, we've altered the training for this camp in terms of being able to get fit and stuff. So we've altered it and doing different ways. But yeah, we're getting there. We're slowly getting back to running and back to 100%. So yeah, we're good. We're flying.
With a plantar fascia injury, are you waiting for a bone to heal, or is it a swelling to go down, or you
Well,
know?
it's a bit of everything. You've got a bit of a bone edema, bone bruising because it's right on my heel. So I've got a bit of bone edema bruising there. But with me, it was like the full thickness tendon tear. It was literally hanging on by a thread, but it'd been a complete rupture. So it's mostly just waiting for it to heal back together and knit together and get back stronger again. So yeah, that time these things take time. I'd have probably been better breaking a bone in my foot or my heel bone, and they healed a lot quicker. I didn't really know the severity of it until actually I was actually trying to do the recovery and stuff. Like started seeing the specialists and things. I thought, oh, they were like, man, this is a really serious injury. Like so, yeah, it was quite a severe injury, but we're getting there now. And we're getting there quickly as well with the terms of recovery wise. So I'm happy the way it's going and the way it's recovering. So it's really good. It's going well.
Do they go in there and put something in there to help it grow, or do they?
Well, I didn't have to get the operation, which was good. They did give me PRP injections, which helps sort of knit it together a little bit quickly. They take the white blood cells and sort of spin it round, and help with recovery that way. So I've did that, 2 injections that way, and then the rest I've been getting like electromagnetic shock therapy as well, which helps the regenerate the cells in the blood cells in the foot, and pumping it with these radiations, just pumping it. So that's helped it speed it up quite a bit as well. So it's going well, Gareth. I'm pleased with the way that's healed up.
So tell me about camp. As you say, you've changed things up a little bit. In what respect, and maybe for what reasons?
Well, mainly just the injury,
I see. Yeah.
just injury. That's the only really thing we've really changed. In terms of running, getting fit for. I usually use running majority of my way to get fit, but I've been using other ways now. I've been doing swimming sessions, bike sessions, assault bikes, circuit stations, and things like that. So I've really changed up my preparation in terms of my conditioning side. So yeah, it's going well. It's going really well. It's been a refreshing change, to be honest, because obviously I was used to just pounding the roads and pounding running hills, and I've changed it up, which has been good. It's been exciting.
Do you think at your age now you do need to change how you train as well? Not that you've got so much wear and tear on the clock, but into your 30s now, do you think you do need to change that slightly?
No, I don't think so. I think for me, it was just the area where it was just generally tight all around. My left side has been pretty tight, on my foot and my ankle mobility and stuff like that. So, it's gave me a chance to work on my ankle mobility, and getting back to being flexible and loose again. So, I think it was just a case of a little bit of wear and tear, Gareth. But as soon as this is back 100% and on the road again, I'll be doing it again, the way I've been doing training and preparing. But this time with a lot of stretches and a lot of rehab kind of work, which helps keep my supple and loose. So even my other side, I'm doing these stretches on my other side now, and the difference on my ankle mobility is unbelievable. So yeah, no, I don't think I will have to change too much at all.
Well, one of the reasons why I asked that was because I think I read somewhere a couple of weeks ago that you have felt caught between two styles a little bit,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that what you're doing now, actually, boxing side of it, is maybe getting back to what you know best, what you do best.
yeah. I was sort of caught between styles my last camp. Trying to get basically felt like I was trying to get my whole style sort of changed, and the way I fight changed. And I just felt that like it wasn't broken, so why try and fix something that wasn't broken? Everything that I had done up until that point was, you know, it was proven unbeatable. So it was like, why try and change what's not broken? And I just kind of got caught between it. Like when I was trying to do my own things and get back to do what I was doing, I was getting steered away from it, and I kind of showed my last fight like I was just caught between styles and stuff. So yeah, none of that's there now. I'm back to being able to do what I want to do, and improving what I've got, and improving what I've got already, and working on little things that I can also improve on. Because you can always improve and learn on different things. So yeah, you never stop learning and improving in this game, but I don't believe in completely changing your style as a fighter.
You went to New York, or to New Jersey rather, to publicize your fight with Teofimo Lopez. Were you surprised he wasn't there? Were you expecting him to be there?
I couldn't really care, to be honest. I don't think it looked good on his behalf. I was in his backyard basically in New York, which is just across the bridge really from Brooklyn.
Yeah.
So no, I thought it looked bad on his part in terms of announcing the fight and getting the hype up for the fight. But really, I couldn't give a shit, Gareth. I'm going to see him anyway, and I'm going to give him a good doing on fight night. So yeah, I can't wait. I'm not really fussed for seeing him then too often anyway, because
Yeah.
spend too much time around him, I want to punch his face in anyway.
Yeah. No, because I wonder, because knowing you like I do, like you often feed off that, being around your opponent, and get fired up around it, and I'll say emotional, but the heckles rise, and you get those feelings about you're about to go to war with that person, and it might have been a nice feeling to take back to camp.
Oh, well, I've got that anyway. I've always got that in abundance. So He said a few things in the past and said a few things about me, so that's there anyway. And I would have it. I would have it anyway because it's such a big fight and such a great matchup in terms of two. Well, he's unified world champion at lightweight. I was undisputed at this weight category. They've still got all my other guys have still got my belts. I'm still the man to beat in the division. So this is a huge fight. This is a massive fight. Because if he wins it, he's got endless amounts of fame and accolades to his name. Two-weight world champion, beat the man at the weight twice. But that's not going to happen. So, and for me, it was a mandatory. It's a big fight. It's a big name. It's a big hype. And when I beat him, it's back onto bigger and better things. Back onto chasing more titles. Maybe getting my belts back. Maybe moving up to 147 and chasing a second weight world title. So this fight for me is huge as well. So I've got this kind of like a crossroads fight for me as well. And
it's also an opportunity for the fans to travel this time.
Yeah, which is great. I've already had hundreds of messages saying that people are coming over and to get their tickets. I've had a lot of people asking me if I'm getting tickets and stuff like that. So people go onto the Top Rank website or Ticketmaster and you'll get your tickets there. I did try to see about getting stuff for myself, but the Americans don't do it that way. So yeah, it's good. It's going to be good. I've got a travelling support coming over this time, and I can't wait to get over there and see the garden, see the atmosphere, see the ring all set up, and yeah, it's going to be a real pinch me moment, and I can't wait, Gareth. I'm looking forward to it.
Do you see this as a Regis Prograis type fight? Do you see this as a fight where you can exploit his bullishness?
Yeah.
How do you see it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those kind of fights with his style of fighting. And his ability to move around and be athletic, and he can box as well, but he's aggressive as well. He likes to come in and try and open you up, which can leave him then open as well. But he can box, he can move, and he can be smart as well. So this has definitely got the makings to be a great fight. It's got the makings to be a boring boxing match, but more, it's got the makings to be an amazing, exciting fight that's going to be swing both ways, a bit like the Prograis fight. That had a bit of everything in it as well, a bit of boxing, a bit of moving, a bit of clever boxing, a bit of infighting, a bit of boxing on the back foot, a bit of fighting in the phone box. It had everything, that fight. And
that's what I meant. Yeah, it's got
the making of that as well, because he's got them attributes that he can do it all as well, and I can do it all too. So it's got that makings of this fight to be a real explosive, highly skilled boxing / fighting match, or it could be a highly skilled boxing match where it's going to be like a game of chess. Either way, it's going to be a real exciting fight, and a real one. It's going to be exciting to watch.
When do you go over, and where will you train or work out from? Do you know yet?
Well, no, we haven't worked out the gym where we're going to be training at yet, but we're going to be going over a couple of weeks beforehand. Obviously, get used to the heat over there. New York, that time of the year, is going to be quite hot. Using my experience from when I was in the camp with Carl Frampton, we went over a couple of weeks beforehand. I believe that was
the Leo Santa Cruz fight, the first Leo Santa Cruz fight.
Yeah, Santa Cruz fight. Now that was in July time in New York, and I remember when we went into New York, it was just insanely hot,
suffocating heat there.
Yeah, really hot, really, like you say, suffocating and humid.
Yeah.
Walking around, I felt like I was just in a shower. Like I went into 4 or 5 different shops to get different t-shirts, and so I'm using that experience, to go over there a little bit earlier, and get used to that heat for the first week, and acclimatise.
There were fast cars in Vegas. What's it going to be in the Big Apple?
Oh, it's just eat, sleep, box, and repeat. That's it. We were there for a long time in Vegas, so we had a little bit of time to kill at the weekends and stuff. We were there for almost a month in Vegas. So when we weren't doing stuff, we knew a couple of contacts over there as well. That shout out to Chop if he sees this, for giving us the cars and letting us run around in good, cool cars. So this time we're only here for a couple of weeks, and we're not really going to have time on our hands. So we'll be fully dialed in and tuned into the fight.
Couple of while I've got you, there's a couple of big fights going on as well. There's one this weekend in um, in Las Vegas. Tank Davis against Ryan Garcia. It's very big over there. It's probably the biggest fight they've had in America this year.
Yeah.
Are you going to be up watching that, or will you watch that fight? Will you see that fight? And how do you see it going?
Yeah, I probably will watch it. If not, I'll watch it on Sunday morning. I'll not be up for staying up late. Obviously I'm in camp, so I'll probably just watch it in the morning. So I'll stay off the social media. Because obviously you get the fight ruined by social media when you see it in the results or you see highlights. So I'll stay off it and I'll watch it in the morning when I get up. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to this fight. This fight's been one that's been in the making for a long time. It's been talked about for a long, long time. So it's about time that it's been made. And it's a real exciting fight. Obviously Ryan Garcia has got the edge on speed. I believe the sort of sharp speed. He's got the edge on that, and good sort of timing. But I just feel in all roundness and awareness and boxing ability, boxing IQ, the movements. I just think Tank's all that all round better. He's got that better boxing brain. He's certainly got the power as well. Got great timing. He's not as quick as Garcia, but he's got the timing. He's got the cuteness. He's very clever fighter. So and powerful as well. So I just believe that the edge is on Tank's side, and I'll be sort of edging towards Tank for this fight. But I wouldn't be surprised if it goes either way. If Garcia catches him with a left hook and hurts him and buzzes him. So it's an exciting fight, and I'll be looking forward to it as a boxing fan.
And then in the same division, which is a terrific division at the moment, on May the 20th, is Vasyl Lomachenko and Devin Haney. Devin Haney defending all the lightweight belts.
Yeah.
How do you see that one?
That one again for me is a great fight too. Lomachenko, the Matrix. For me, one of my favourite fighters. Learned a lot from him throughout my amateur career and both my professional career. Taking some things from him that he does and incorporated it in my own style over the years in fights and used it in fights and stuff. So he's a great fighter. He's one of the, for me, in my opinion, one of the all-time greats in terms of achievement-wise in the sport that he's did. But for me, I just think maybe looking a little bit on the sort of age side, a little bit on the slide in terms of age-wise. Not still, I would say maybe just slightly past his prime, but still there. If you know what I mean, it's kind of a weird one. He'd certainly be a live dog in this fight. Certainly be very competitive and make it very, very awkward for Haney at times, and very sort of difficult for him to make him hit him and stuff. But I just think in this fight, I think Haney's just a little bit too big, a little bit too young, and a little bit too sharp and fresh. I think timing and time is on Haney's side in this one. So I'd be slightly edging towards Haney on this one, just because of size, youth, and he's fresh, and his hunger is still as well.
In that mix, and we saw him fight recently against Shuichiro Yoshiro, sorry. No, I'm going to say Yoshino rather, and he looked fantastic. Shaka Stevenson.
Yeah.
Where for you in that quintet of fighters, where does Shaka sit in amongst the other four?
He's right there at the top as well. He's very, very sharp. I was obviously at that last fight there, and watching him in the flesh, he was very, very sharp, very precise, very patient, and clever as well. A very precise fighter. and a bit nasty as well. You know, he's got that little bit of nastiness in there as well. So yeah, I think he's certainly in the mix with these guys as well. He's a very, very good fighter and a top shelf fighter.
Because Yoshino was, I think he was 17, he was 16 wins and 12 knockouts going into that, undefeated.
Yeah, yeah,
And I thought Shaka made him look, well, you were there. He just timed him so easily. He looked like he'd see the door open whenever he wanted to, couldn't he?
yeah. He just could do what he wanted. It's like he could see everything coming now. What he was going to do. It was always a few steps ahead of him. You know, the first round or so he went out and had a look, but it's like he was always a few steps ahead, and it was just a very, very good performance for Shakur Stevenson. I was very impressed.
Finally, Josh, it'd be remiss of me, I haven't spoken to you since the passing of Kenny Buchanan. Obviously, it's well documented that he's literally your first boxing coach or the first person that inspired you.
Yeah.
How do you think Kenny should be remembered? Obviously, you've been compared to him as the two greatest Scottish boxers, along with people like Ricky Burns as well.
Yeah.
How did you feel, and how do you feel that Kenny should be remembered?
Well, for me, he's one of the best that the UK for Scotland. For me, personally for Scotland, for me, he's the best out of Scotland, like ever for Scotland, Scottish boxing. For the UK boxing, he's certainly up there as one of the all-time greats as well. One of the greatest to do it as well.
Agreed.
He was like the original roadman. You know, everybody goes on about roadmen and road warriors. Kenny Buchanan was the original one. He had like 64 fights or 67 fights. He only had 4 of them in Scotland and in the UK. The rest were abroad. So he really done it the hard way, you know, and all on his own. Just a really fierce fighter, man. You see some of his old clips of him video. He really could do it all. Vicious body punching, inside fighting, boxing work, piston like jab, beautiful feet work. You know, he could work and bob and weave off the ropes, and yeah, he was just a real top class, tough fighter. You know, and I thought that was criminal that the lack of recognition that man received. I mean, when he come off that plane, he should have been celebrated for the minute he come off that plane to the day he died. Or going around the UK and around the world, 2 boxing shows, on shows, being talked about, and being there and being involved in it all. And it was like he was sort of forgotten. And for me, that was criminal, given that man's achievements and the stature and the way that he won those titles, and what he believed for as a man as well. He was just a really, really good guy, very down to earth, funny, hardworking, humble man, and it was like he was completely forgotten about. And for me, that was criminal. That was criminal for the media and stuff to just forget about him.
But no, weirdly, of course, he wasn't promoted
they got,
by. He was. I think Jack Solomons was his promoter at the time, wasn't he? And so he wasn't in the group. Astaire, Duff, and all those other guys that were had to deal with the BBC. They were the only ones that had the TV deal, so he wasn't on the TV as much. Like you say, should have been watched by millions. All those performances.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. I mean, they always say they celebrate people when they're gone, and it's true. It's they got the Ken Buchanan Foundation. They managed to get a statue of him up at the top of Leith Walk last year, which is brilliant and really a great touch to, you know, that man up in Scotland and in Leith where he's from and around. He is a legend around those neck of the woods and really well respected and loved. So to get that statue there eventually was a really, really nice touch, and brilliant of the guys involved in getting it done. But for me, it was just too little, too late. You know, he's passed away just recently there a couple of weeks ago, and he only just got the recognition that he should have got when he arrived back off the plane. For me, it's a shame that this man, this legend. I feel the word legend gets used a bit too much, but Kenny is a legend in every sense of the word, inside and outside the ring, and just a real, really good guy.
Is there one piece of advice or something he said to you that you'll always remember?
I was always, he was just always, he was always in the gym, just giving me bits of advice. And at Lock End, when I come in Lock End, he watched me sparring and watched me doing a bit of training and just giving me little bits of advice on how to live life and how to apply yourself, you know. And he's an old timer. He said, you only get out what you put in, you know. So live the life while you've got it, and while you're young enough, live the life and dedicate yourself, and you only get out what you put in, and you'll reap the rewards. And this it's never said, and nobody's ever said anything truer to me than that man did that day. So I took on his advice, and I've gave this sport my all, and what I've received back from it and what I've got out of it is unbelievable. I've did something that no one else in the UK's done. I'm the first person to do what I've did in only 18 fights and become an undisputed world champion, and that's due to being dedicated and being sort of dedicated and faithful to my craft and just living and breathing boxing through since I was 16, 17 years old. So yes, that was a vital piece of advice that I received from Kenny.
Rest in peace, Kenny Buchanan. Always a pleasure to speak to you, Josh. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks for having me, Gareth. Thank you.